Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner, and this is a random good evening chit chat instead of my typical good morning chit chat. Okay, just decided like 5 minutes ago. I was like, honey, it is nothing. It is nothing in these streets to talk about. There is no gossip around here that I have not already discussed. And I was like, there's nothing today. Because I was like, well, so there's nothing about anybody else's business to discuss. Why not, let's have a conversation about some of my own business and things that, has been going on. I know y'all had, well, at least not for the new folk, but folk who have been, following me since before recently, since like last year or whatever, who know how, I got COVID this year and was sick and all these things happened. And I think one live me and my mom did after I got out the hospital, but I haven't really spoke about anything since then. But a lot has been going on behind the scenes, okay? And so I always said I would do like some kind of just, conversation about it. Now I am at home in the bed. I hope y'all can hear me the right way because y'all know I'm in the bed because it's a relaxed day. Okay, it's a relaxed day. And so I just did not feel like going to get on my computer. So I'm on my phone in the bed. So please let me know if I sound good, if y'all can hear me, if it don't sound muffled or anything. Y'all don't hear my fan going and stuff. Okay. But hello to everyone tuning in to this live and also to those who will be tuning in to the real play. Okay, the re of the play. Okay. Hey. So I feel like, a conversation is always warranted only because I have been planning to have this conversation from before, but so much had been going on, or I was tired, or it was news to be, talked about. And so I kind of just did not, have a chance to do that. But because, it's not much going on today, I was like, might as well go on here. Um, I was waiting for you to go on live after Monique's supposed to that letter. Honey, I seen it, but I didn't care at the same time. So I kind of left it, I kind of left it alone. Okay, I sound good. Okay, good. No, you did not. Nope. I just came on, honey. Just came on. So no. And I also, wanted this to be more for, the JayBirds. I know I have been getting a lot of attention lately. Um, for other videos. But again, I'm like, let me just update people on just kind of what's been going on, what my plans are for the future and whatnot. Okay. Haley just heard Dustin Ross mention you on the Friends on pod. I said, yes, my girl made it. Yeah, I seen that too. I was very, very excited. Mainly because I feel like, YouTube is such a confined space that usually most folks know you, on YouTube. So it's always, an amazing, exciting feeling and also a humbling experience, feeling to know that someone outside of YouTube, one watches you and, appreciates the hard work that I put into, covering the whole Monique and DL situation, also covering the Love and Marriage Huntsville situation. I was very happy that he shouted me out and that was very appreciative. Okay. Hey, I was worried about you thinking, things are happening. Okay, things are happening. But yeah. If you have a question, you can put that question in the comment section. And I'll try my best to answer your question. So you always put either the word question, the question mark, and I can answer any questions y'all have. Okay. But I want, talk about, just some work that was going on. And also just different side effects of me and what happened with me with COVID. Because I was sick, I was gone for a minute, came back, and slowly got back into the grind of things. But I mean, stuff has been crazy ever since. And that's what it is. Okay, yes, I did hit 32,000. I am very, very excited at that. I think I'm at 32,400 now. So the past like 2 weeks have been very humbling to say the least. I feel like um I'm trying my best to organically continue to grow my channel. Because I don't want it to get to the point to where people expect certain things from me that isn't what I do. So I'm being very careful in how I, post stuff and what I do. So that way no one feels like, oh, I thought she was this kind of channel and she not, so I'm gonna unsubscribe. So I'm trying to stay, what I'm saying, just honest to who I am. Okay. But yes, please hit the like button, please and thank you. You do a great job. Thank you so much. The Florida bomb. Okay. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you on your success. Been rocking with you since 1819. When I will listen to your stories about the bad guy. So many people don't remember those story times about the bad guy. That's funny. I believe in you and love you, boo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Love from Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, I want to go over that. Okay. Hey, really congrats on the oh yes, yes, the Love and Marriage Huntsville video that I did, showing all the lives of, Mel and Wanda and Stormy, that whole conversation, that video did hit 100,000 views, and I've never had a video do that. So I'm very, very proud of myself. And it's the growth of me, just as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Um, however, I guess the first thing I'll touch on as far as um so I caught COVID, January the beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? I was off for vacation. Because I do actually have a regular, 9 to 5 job that I've been on my job for um almost 8 years. I thought of what years? This is 2022. Well, 7 years. I started my job in 2015. Well, this current place where I'm at now. So I've been there for 7 years. So I do have a regular 9 to 5 job and everything. And I always take the end of the year off. I take off like the last 2 weeks in December. So I had been off work from December 20th or whatever it was. I forgot what day it was. And I went back, after the first. And so the first week I went back to work, I fell on some ice. Fell on some ice, was off work for a couple of days because I was sore. Had to go to urgent care, whatever, and all of that. And when I went back to work on January 10th, I was really, really sick and I thought I had a cold. But turns out, nope, I had COVID. So technically, I have not been back to work on a consistent full-time basis since then. Because I left work that day, told my boss I wasn't feeling good, I was gonna take the following day off, and I was at home sick as a dog from then until my 40th birthday, which was January 16th. And my mom came over. She forced me to go to the hospital. So I was at home, sick for a week. Uh, and it was really bad. Like I damn near died. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's really what it was. And thank God my mom was able to get me to the ER and got me in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for a week. And while in the hospital, so before I went to the hospital, I did not have any major health issues. Yes, yeah, I know for a fact I am plus size and everything. However, I didn't have any, what I'm saying, like crazy health issues. And when I got to the hospital, they told me that I was diabetic, that my A1C was at like a 10 point something, which is diabetes. And to be diabetic, I think the normal level is a 5, and I was at a 10 point. I think at that point it was like a 10.1 or something like that. And they would give me insulin. It was crazy. It was extremely crazy. And so it went from that to me being in the hospital. I was having these weird burning sensations in my legs. It was just craziness. And then once I got home from the hospital, after being in there a week, even though I was getting better, the side effects, yeah, this is my COVID story. That's what it is. Because I feel like, only certain people will even care about all of this stuff. So this isn't even a video like for views or whatever. This is more like, what I'm saying, just to explain what all had happened, from before. Um, but when I got home, I wanted to come. My expectation was I'm gonna come home and go full throttle, to back to work and this and that and that and this, and that ain't happened. Okay, I was still too weak, and even now, because this is now June, I still get weak. I still get tired. Um, and that's the crazy part. Was sometimes people don't get like after I go live, usually my energy is just drained because I get tired sometimes. But the main issue that happened once I was out the hospital was they had me on all this insulin. And the insulin, I was having like every side effect from the insulin. And in my opinion, I feel like I feel like I may have been pre-diabetic. I do feel that. However, I do feel like because they gave me so much insulin, my body almost probably didn't need it, but because I just kept giving it to myself even after the hospital, I was taking insulin like 6 times a day. Once in the morning, once between every meal, and then once for 5 times a day. 5 times a day, I was taking insulin daily. But I kept wondering, like my legs started to swell, my legs started to get numb. One leg was numb, one leg was swelling. I ended up getting an infection in both legs. I got cellulitis in both legs. I ended up having an infection in my neck that happened from the hospital. So all of these things was going on, and I just kind of wasn't talking about it. Yeah, I do think my body was rejecting the insulin because in the hospital they don't really explain to you side effects of insulin. They don't explain to you anything other than you're in here with COVID. You also it was COVID. Did I also have pneumonia? It was COVID and something else. I feel like it may have also been pneumonia, but I can't remember. But they were, I think it was COVID and pneumonia, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but they were treating that, and they were giving me insulin for the um diabetes diagnosis from the hospital. And in the hospital, my levels, normal sugar levels is, like between like it's like 80. My levels in the hospital were in the upper 300s. My blood pressure was up, but the COVID changed everything in my body and shot everything up. Um, and because of that, it was so much they were having to do to me in the hospital. I don't even remember the first maybe 3 or 4 days in there because I was kind of out of it. At least the first 3 days. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, I was shooting myself in the hospital. They would come and give me shots in the hospital all the time. Once I came home, I had to shoot myself with a needle 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Um, and so it was kind of crazy that all of that was going on. Yeah, COVID, pneumonia, lungs were severely compromised. So that was why I was in the hospital for the week. And when I came home, I did not realize how tired or how weak my body was. Um, because I was so sick. But once I was home and the doctors just made me continue with the medication I was taking in the hospital, and I just kept giving myself the insulin. I cut out all like I even now my whole eating habits are different. Like I rarely ever do takeout. The most takeout I have now is like I'll get an omelet from the Coney Island because I don't want to make omelets. So the only takeout I eat is like omelets. But I don't really get hungry anymore. That's how I end up losing some weight. Like I lost, y'all, I lost a good 50 pounds. Period. you know, and it's still a work in progress too. But I lost a lot of weight from being sick and stuff like that. So a lot happened in such a quick time because again, I went from being fine, at the beginning of January, and then as of like the 10th, when I caught COVID, and I probably caught COVID when I went to urgent care from falling at work, and then it's like stuff just went down here from there. So me not knowing anything about diabetes, because I just didn't know nothing about diabetes, and also me just following what the hospital told me to do. I hadn't followed up with a doctor just yet. And then my PCP, even he told me to stay on the insulin because they was basing everything off of what my levels were in the hospital. And I'm like, I don't think I need all this insulin. And from my left leg being numb to my left leg having like these weird shooting pains in them all the time. And then my right leg swelled up and I had cellulitis in the right leg, which then transferred to the left leg. So like even their skin, my skin, the color of my skin changed colors based on the infections. And I kept thinking like I don't know why my legs. It was to the point to where I couldn't walk. Like it was hard to walk because my legs were in so much pain. It was hard to sleep, and we could not figure out what was going on. Then my feet started to swell to where I couldn't sit for a long, like I couldn't sit for a long period of time, like I used to be able to, because my ankles and my legs would get so swollen. It was too painful to kind of just be there, or whatever. It was crazy, y'all. And all of that happens about a week or two after I got out the hospital. So sometimes when I was on live, when I was on the panel, I was either tired, like I was still sick, but I had, you got to work because YouTube is work. Um, I made the decision because I Googled the insulin that I was on. I was on Novolog, and I was also on it was Novolog, and I can't think of the other name of the other one I was on. And something told me Google the side effects of insulin. And when I Googled it, every symptom that was a side effect from the insulin is what I was experiencing that was making my body worse. The insulin wasn't really helping me at all. And so that was the hard part. Wow, because I thank you. As a diabetic, 25 years, I've known people to be allergic to insulin. I've had A1Cs that were 12 plus as a teen. I know your pain. And that's the weird part. Like, nobody ever had the conversation with me in the hospital, even at my PCP office. It was just, well, your A1C is at 10 point whatever, your levels in the hospital were 300 whatever. So you're diabetic, you're gonna probably be long term insulin dependent. So just keep taking it. And I did because that's what they told me to do. But something told me once I Googled the side effects and saw what was going on, I was like, Ma, I think I want to stop taking insulin. And I did not want to have the discussion with my doctors. I felt like they wanted me to stay on insulin, and I didn't want to. And so I'm like, I just have to kind of make the decision. I feel like the insulin was making my legs not work. It's what's making me sicker. And I don't think it's really helping me keep my sugar levels down because I'm not really eating much of nothing at all. I remember you speaking on feeling like you had to get here on work. I did. Even now, I think, you know, YouTube is a place to where if you aren't actively making videos, if you're not actively, producing content, you fall out of the YouTube algorithm, and then your subscribers sometimes won't see your videos, and your views go down, your revenue goes down. And for me, YouTube is a business. I want to eventually quit my full time job to become a full time YouTuber. So for me, that comes with sacrifice. So there were times I was forcing myself to do live. I was forcing myself to do at least one video a day, even though after it was done, I would like have to go collapse and just sleep for the rest of the day. Um, but it's also because I felt like, because there's so many folks on YouTube, it's easy to forget about people. And because I still feel like I'm a newer YouTuber because I've only been doing it for 5 years. So I also had that fear too. But I'm like, honey, y'all showed up and showed out, so it's okay. Stress can cause your blood sugar to go up. Honey, no, it was all COVID. It was all COVID. COVID had me absolutely messed up. And I just kind of never went into detail because I was like, what do I care about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about the gossip. Don't you? That's what I said for today. I was like, what? Ain't nothing else going on. Talk to those who care about what you went through because everyone wants care. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get that because it's not everybody's forte. However, I was like, you know what? Let's have a conversation, okay? Um, and we've known for some people who had COVID and nothing happened to them. Like they had no side effects. It wasn't any hospital stuff. It wasn't anything like that. However, I also feel like I guess I gotta take the banner off, honey. I forgot the banner was still on, honey. Even though I'm not gonna call on camera, at the all, but y'all can at least see my face blaring right there. Sorry, but I didn't even think about it. Oh yeah, y'all know to follow me on all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. But it was just such a crazy situation that I kind of didn't want to discuss it because I felt like that will bring up too many questions because I would then have to explain the diabetes. I would then have to explain having the cellulitis. I would then have to explain the infections in my neck. COVID really ravaged my body like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I've just been having to deal with it ever since. And still try to do everything, that I have to, like, bills still due. Rent still, like, pay my own bills. I what I'm saying? I have to support myself. So I can't depend on anyone else to make sure I survive financially, even though I have people that, you know what I'm saying, I can, lean on. I've never wanted to do that. So that's why when I was in the hospital and then I was out the hospital and then I wasn't strong enough to go back to work. And so I was on FMLA at work. And we all know, when you working, nobody can really afford, at least in my situation, like I can't afford to not work. Um, because, that just isn't how life goes. So I use up all my sick days, all my vacation days. And that was back in January and February. So much so that, I then started working, from home. I was working from home like 4 hours a day at first to just get myself back into swing things. And I started that on February 1st. So I never even had a break from catching COVID, getting out the hospital, and I had to still work to make a little bit of money to still pay my bills. And I went from working, half days at home and then half off, using up all my sick time. And then other time I just wasn't paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how FMLA is. To working half days in the office, half days home, for a while. And then, my what day was that? Because I don't know my own here. Back was well, a couple weeks ago. My doctor extended out my half at home, half in the office because I was still getting weak. My legs were still having issues. I was still having issues from, I had prolonged COVID issues. And it was easier for days when I was just too tired to do whatever, or I just felt like crap to be able to just work from home, to not have to be in the office doing whatever else. And my employer, because my job is not a work, is my job is not a work from home business at all. I never say where I work, but we are a nonprofit organization, very much so a corporate situation. And my position is an in-office position. It really, really is. Um, and while they allowed me to work from home, have and have work from home in general, that's not really the status of my position. And so, again, that was in January. It was at that point in time, the end of May, or around the end of May, I believe it was. And they said, okay, your doctor extended you for another 30 days to work half and half. However, we can't approve that because your position isn't that. Now, at this point in time, y'all, I didn't have no vacation days because I've used all my days for the days I was sick. Not to include the fact that I had been back and forth to the doctor every week or every other week. I was going to some kind of appointment, and it was me and my mom going to all these appointments. So I have no vacation days, no sick days. So I'm having to either work or not get paid. And so I was very aggravated. Like, I was so mad because I was like, if y'all knew this a month ago, why not tell me so that I could have been financially prepared if I wasn't going to be paid for a month, or if I would be forced to come back to work if I didn't feel like it. And I was extremely pissed. And I was like, I need to quit my job. I need to just quit my job and let it be. So, what y'all may not know, I have been off work for like the past 3 weeks, without pay. So, ta-da! Because I had no choice. And it's weird because it's like, oh, you do YouTube. It's like, yeah, but I have been basing my lifestyle off of my regular work check, but also my YouTube check. And while both of them, are nice checks, to go from getting, having two checks coming in on a consistent basis, going down to just one. We only get paid YouTube once a month. So luckily I've had enough saved and I'm responsible enough to where this hasn't, messed me up, but I've had to spend money that I have been saving just to keep, stuff paid and not fall behind on nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was able to do that, thank God. But like, no one knew that I had not been working for all these weeks and wasn't getting paid at all. The only reason I was able to do so many lives, during the day was I wasn't at work. I'm not going back to work until Monday. So Monday, I'm finally back in the office, full time, 8 hours a day, and I haven't been doing that since January. So for the past 6 months, it's been a tough ass time. Okay. Let me read some of your comments. Some of the symptoms stay and linger around longer in some cases over a year. For some people, thank God. I think God in your body were telling you need to rest and redirect some things for balance. And I said, it was for sure a blessing in disguise. It's just been a long, a long situation that I did not expect. Physically, mentally, financially, like it all has been a whole crazy thing. I had to go twice, once while pregnant, then my baby and I had it both times. It was like we had a bad cold. Thank God we didn't have it bad. And that was the thing. I knew people who had caught it and like nothing was wrong. Um, but we also know that other folks caught it and died. You know what I'm saying? It was that weird, like it could be either way. Um, so that was the issue. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I had it really, really bad. And it's just I lived through it. You know what I'm saying? That couple of change is necrosis, the dying of the limb. Well, no, my limbs ain't dead now. My limbs ain't dead, but because of the swelling, my legs swelled so much that my skin got dark in certain places, and my skin felt like snake skin, and it's something that I have never experienced. And while it is better than what it was at that time, I still fully notice parts of my legs is a bit darker in spaces than it was before from where it was swollen and painful. It was crazy. It was extremely crazy. Um, I was like, man, this is some bullshit. I'm so sorry you've been going through. So I'm glad you're doing better. I would say I'm doing more better now than I was before. Um, no, it wasn't that. I think it was like, was it flex? It been flexy something. I can't think of what because I stopped taking a long time ago. Um, but again, even back to me stopping taking the insulin. So this is the thing. I secretly stopped taking my insulin. Um, I was out of the hospital. I was in the hospital. I was sick from like January 10th when I started being sick. I was in the hospital from January 16th to January 24th. I started back working from home February 1st. And all that time I was on the insulin. I stopped taking the insulin around February, maybe 18th or 19th. Um, and I did not tell my doctors because something said they're gonna try to make you keep taking them. So just don't say shit, don't say nothing, and when they keep asking you, just act like you're taking it. Because I wanted to see, because and my issue also was no one ever said, you can really, help your diabetes by just diet and exercise. Because I was like, look, I only have to almost die once. Okay, you hear me? I only have to almost die once to hear what's supposed to be done. Okay, I cut out all takeout. I cut out all carbs. I'm not even a big eater. I just was always eating takeout food because I had time to cook. Okay, so that was my issue, and I love potato chips. That was really it. Those were my things. Since then, I have completely changed. The most I eat now, I'll eat some scrambled eggs for breakfast. I'll cut up a little sausage. Okay. I may eat a bowl of chili. You know what I'm saying? I don't really, but I've also ate more protein. I'm doing a lot of fish, chicken, or either baked, nothing. I don't do any fried foods anymore. and my dietitian was the one who told me that I can't fully cut out carbs. So the only carb I'll eat is hash browns with my breakfast, or if I have an omelet. But I completely changed how I eat. And it's still a work in progress. I still have to learn to eat more veggies. I hate veggies. I like carrots. I like greens. That's about it. Okay, so I'm having to work on that. But however, they didn't say, like, you know what, you really need to. You can handle diabetes by diet and exercise. No one had that conversation. It was all about, okay, you have to be on insulin. So I was like, I didn't know no other way. And when I Googled the side effects or whatever, and what else to be doing, I'm like, oh, I could have died next class. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Stop taking my insulin again in February. And when I finally did tell my doctor over a month later, I told my doctor at my appointment on March 29th that I stopped taking it. And he was like, you can die. You can go into diabetic shock. No one should ever stop taking their insulin, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because no one can lower their A1C if they're not on insulin. And they had tested my A1C at an appointment like back in February. And I was like, I'm telling you, I think I'm doing better. And so my doctor at that point, at my March 29th appointment, did a blood test to run my A1C. And when my A1C came back, now again, when they ran my A1C in February, it was at 10.9. When they ran my A1Cs on March 29th, my A1C was at an 8. That whole time was my A1C went from a 10.9 to an 8 with no insulin. I had lost about 20 more pounds since being, it was 17 pounds since being out the hospital at that point in time. And I was like, I know my body. You know what I'm saying? I knew something wasn't right and what I did not need. And for me, I feel like I want to do the work myself. I don't want to have to be a insulin dependent 40-year-old woman. I was tired. Look, I got to the point where at first, when I would give myself the injections, I was okay. But I started like to get like a fear of poking myself, because I was giving it was 5 times a day, 5 times a day, every day, poking myself in the stomach with a needle. And then what they don't tell you is, when you do that, you have to always poke different places, because if not, like, you get little like lumps. And I'm like, why am I getting lumps? This is some bullshit. And I was like, no, hey, woo woo. I was like, it's my friend, y'all. My friend Willette. But I was like, I can't be out here having to give myself insulin. I have to try to do it myself. And if I can't do it myself without insulin, if I can't do it myself without insulin for a year, like, give me, because like, if no one become diabetic overnight, you grow to get diabetic. It is not an overnight diagnosis. So if it took me, 20, 30 years to get diabetic, give me time to get undiabetic. Give me time to fix it. So I'm like, if I can't lower my A1C on my own within a year, fully put me on all the insulin, the right kind now, y'all know, right kind now. And I'll handle that then, but I'm like, give me a chance. And my doctor did not acknowledge me, one, losing weight, lowering my A1C, lowering my glucose levels. My glucose levels now be between 100, and the most I've seen is like maybe 140. In the hospital, it was it was like 350. 80 is regular. I can take a little 120. I can take that. It's okay for me. You know what I'm saying? And I was aggravated that he did not acknowledge the work I've done until like just last week. No, I'm sorry, just this week. Because I had to go back because the infection in my neck keeps coming back. So I have to have surgery in July to remove a cyst pocket that's in my neck that keeps coming back to an infection. So I keep having to be on antibiotics with a swollen neck, a painful neck, because of an infection I got in the hospital back in January. Yeah. Okay. And at that appointment, he finally said, "Oh my God, your A1C is down to 8. That's incredible. I've never seen anyone lower their A1C without being on insulin, and you also lost weight. And I was like, diet and exercise. It's that simple for me. It ain't that simple for everybody else. I get my situation is not the typical one, but that's just my journey. Okay. Thank you for sharing the story. I'm glad you listened. But I feel, and sometimes I did listen to my body. Sometimes I fully ignored stuff in the past. Nothing bad, but with how sick I was, because like my mom, like my best friend Karla called me one day, and she was like, and I don't fully recall the call. I remember talking to her, but she was like, Jay, you sounded horrible. Like you sounded like you was dying. I didn't get it. My mom would call me daily, like daily, and she heard me getting weaker and weaker. But I was refusing to go to ER solely because I wasn't strong enough to move. Like I was just too physically weak to move. And I'm like, I just need to sleep. That's all I kept telling myself. And even him, when him would call, him would be like, you sound fucked up. Like, but I didn't really know because I was just too weak and too tired to really acknowledge it. COVID is horrible. And me and my husband were seriously sick 6 months ago. I just got over a mild case of COVID. Look, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I think not a lot of people who have dealt with the crazy side of it, you know, discuss it as much. And so, but I had also been, like, because I feel like I'm a private person. As much as I'm on live and this and that or whatever, if y'all don't realize that I keep most of my life private because you have to keep things to yourself just for sanity purposes, truth be told. And I felt like if I talk about all that I went through, it would make me not seem weak, but I felt like it was just a weakness, I guess. I guess like I said it was. And I felt like I'll talk about it when I feel um more at ease about it. And I also want to wait until I kind of went through it because when I was sick and kept having to go to the ER. Oh, thank you, Sandra Pettiford, for the Cash App. Thank you so much. Um, but I also, when I was going through these things, months ago, we didn't know what was wrong, and I didn't want to come on and talk about it when I did not even know what was going on in my body. And I'm just now starting to be able to fully explain and have conversations and say what's going on because now I kind of know what kind of happened to me. Hey, Nay, my cousin, y'all. And it's weird that it took me, time to just be like, okay, now cause I literally, I was like, it ain't nothing to talk about, but I want to talk. Like, I really want to talk, I want to have a conversation. So I was like, you know what? Talk about your own business. Come on here and, just kind of get it all out. And then whoever watches, whoever doesn't, it's fine, fine, fine. Um, but it's just weird because I don't think people really understood how hard it's been since I came home. Because I before I wasn't, a person who didn't have energy. Like I was a different person when I came home. I couldn't drive around. Like my mom would drive me to all my appointments. Because I couldn't drive, and because she has the flexibility in her job to be able to take time off to handle things. Um, and because everybody don't have that luxury, you know what I'm saying? So I thank God for my mom because she was here. I told her my mom pulled up here on my birthday, pulled her truck up to the door. Y'all know I live in an apartment complex. She pulled up, she pulled her car up on the grass to the complex and forced me to go to the hospital. Because, what I'm saying? It's like, thank God she did it. Because, I could have easily died here because I was just too weak to go anywhere. And she said, not with my daughter, not today. And she came and took me to the hospital. And everything after that has been crazy. Like, I was like, I've never had any numbness in my legs. I've never had, these, and the pains in my legs It's the weirdest shit, and it was so hard for me to explain it. And when they was what is it like? What does it feel like? And I'm like, like if you can imagine the best way I was explaining, I was like, if you have a piece of ice that's melting and like breaking apart, if you see a big iceberg and like the pieces break apart, it felt like parts of my leg was like ice breaking apart because, or like lightning in my, it was the weirdest shit. Like to where I could be sitting down and I would have to get up and walk around because of the pain in my legs, or I would have to sit down because of the pain. It was the weirdest shit for so long, and it was all because the insulin was making me sick. The insulin was making me worse. Thank God you here with us. Appreciate you. And you're sorry. Thank you so much. While it's important for us to know this information because COVID impacts everyone different, especially it depends on the strand. But I understand why you didn't want to indulge because I really didn't know what was going on at that point in time, and I was like, I can go back to work. I can get back because that's what everyone else I knew that was their story. It just wasn't mine, and I didn't know how to even have the discussion about something I didn't yet fully understand. Being that you had to isolate aside from the stress of having to figure out the work, how has it been on your mental? Uh, I would say, I would say, it's been good and bad days. Some days, man, look, some days I'm great. Some days I'm absolutely great. Other days I would just sit and cry because it would be so funny because like I would just be like trying to it can be something simple as if I tried to scratch my leg and I would scratch my leg and I couldn't feel it because that part of my and only on my left leg only one part of my thigh like from the knee to my hip on one leg on the outside of my thigh was what was numb. So sometimes when I would scratch that part and I couldn't feel it, I would cry because I'm like, bitch, you can't you can't feel your leg. So it was that part that was hard. Um, but mentally, out some days are good, but some days I'm like a wreck because I'm like, man, when will this be over? When can I just celebrate being 40? When can I just, not feel tired? When can I, get through a life and after life, I don't feel like I'm about to just pass out. You know what I'm saying? And I've just recently gotten to a point to where after my lives, I'm not exhausted. But it's mainly because sometimes I'll pop off camera. So I'm not having to put forth energy in looking like I have all this energy. Um, so sometimes that's why even now, I'll be live, but I'll be off camera because like y'all may not get it, but sometimes that just saves me energy. And sometimes that helps my mental because I want to give content. I still want to be me, but sometimes I don't have the energy to just be on camera. Which brings to my next point. My hair fell out. So for those of y'all who has been watching for a while, y'all know I've always had my bun, big bun. And honey, COVID said not today. COVID said, well, we're gonna take some of your hair. So it wasn't until the past maybe like 2 months where where I would comb my hair and like it would just be coming out. And I'm like, what? Am I tripping? Like, why my hair coming out? And a side effect for some people with COVID is hair loss. And it doesn't start until a couple months after. And well, I'm in that stage. So like my hair, let me try a picture. Okay. So that's hair that came out in one day, that ball of hair. And when I would comb my hair, it would just be, it would come out in clumps. And that's why, if y'all notice, I don't wear my bun up as often, or I'm always in the headband, okay? Not because I'm bald, because I'm not bald, okay? And I have these couple photos. It's just very thin. My hair is very thin up front. I tried to put a video up here, but I could not because I'm on my phone. And it's just extremely thin. Like all the hair that's coming out is coming out from the front. Like the back of my hair is fine. It's not as full in the back, but it's for sure very thin in the front because as I'm combing my hair, it just comes out. You know what I'm saying? And there's no rhyme or reason to it. Okay. Um, and I only save this one. Like I wish I would have been thinking to save all the hair that came out. This as just to show y'all what it was. But this is one day worth of hair that came out. And so that was tough. Just realizing, bitch, your hair falling out. You don't have no hair. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, I do not want, not don't want, but I don't like being on camera because sometimes I don't want to comb my hair. So I'm like, if I comb it today, more can come out. So if I leave it twisted up and I'm not having to do my hair, it's less likely I'll pull my hair out. And then I also feel like that's fine. But I can't say to y'all, I'm off camera, y'all, because my hair came out. So I don't do that. And I did buy some wigs from this girl, Terry Styles, who I can't wait to wear. I just want to get the bang cut down a little bit out of my eyes before I wear it on camera. So y'all gonna see me in wigs in a while because I don't know when my hair will stop falling out or when it will start growing back. And I don't want to take anything just yet because I don't know how my body will react. So I'm letting the hair loss just kind of do what it's gonna do. And my decision has already been once it's a bald spot, bitch. Once it's a bald spot in my head, I'm gonna shave my head. Not bald, but I'm gonna cut it down as low as it can go, and then I'll start from scratch. I've already made that decision. I'm okay with that. you know, it is what it is. And I was like, that's just what it is. So that's why I'm like, mentally, it's been these different hurdles from numbers and legs to weak and tired to just sick for no reason. Now my hair is falling out. The infection in my neck that keeps coming back because of the cyst pocket that has to be removed. But that's surgery, and I'm scared of surgery. So that whole thing is crazy. So I mean, it's been crazy, and I was like, but that ain't nobody business. So I didn't want to, bombard y'all with reasons. That's why some days I say, I can't do a last day, or, what I'm saying, or I'm off camera today. And y'all may not know the real reason why. The fact that no one knew I had, I ain't been getting, I have not gotten a work check. I won't get paid again from my job until like the first week of July. You know what I'm saying? Because I had no days left because of how long I've been out between doctor appointments and just me being out on FMLA. And so that within itself is just crazy. Um, let's see, hey one, everyone Jaylee, I didn't know, of course, of everything you went through, and when you were hospitalized, I'm glad you're getting better and better. Honey, me too. COVID has put my physical and mental through hell. I still don't feel 100, and it was just January, and that's really how it, that's how it does, and that'd be the crazy thing. Um, let's see, cause so much information. If you mean it instant, I think it's true because look, what I was like when I came home and my right leg, around the knee area, like on the end of my thigh. I'm like, why? It felt like I just hit my knee on something that was sore, and I'm like, did I sleep weird or whatever? I know what it was, and that little pain turned into so much other shit that I would send notes to my doctor. I had been to a couple of visits, and no one can figure it out until they're like, "Oh, it's probably cellulitis," and I'm like, "The fuck!" So it just got crazy. It got crazy and crazy. So, and it got horrible because it was like it was little stuff I wish I knew before that I didn't know in the beginning. And as I learned, okay, stop your insulin and that's gonna help that. Do this and that'll help this. It was like a learning curve. And now I can't eat whatever I want to eat, which is fine. I'm only drinking water, which I always do before, but like I love Wendy's pink lemonades. Love them. Okay. I think since I've been home, I've had two. I used to have one every day. Um, and it's just been a complete change. I'm late tipping in quietly. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm probably backed up on comments. I'm trying to get all your comments. Everybody's long haul C19 is awful. Some people have really been going through it in more ways than one. God bless. And I think not a lot of people talk about it. You know, I was not able for to take 6 months to recover from COVID, and I didn't know that. I was like, I should be fine tomorrow. I knew we were going live a lot more lately. Yeah, because and I think people who are new to my channel didn't realize I would never be live as much because I would be at work. And because I wasn't working and I wasn't getting paid, I was like, I have to make my channel pop. And because I was upset with my job not allowing me to work from home when I literally have a laptop that I can work from home with. Like I literally worked from home during COVID. I worked from home, from February until May. But their notion was because my position isn't, labeled. Thank you, Ashantia, for the cash app. I probably pronounced your name wrong, but thank you for the cash app. Thank you much. I appreciate it. Um, and because I was upset with my job for not allowing me to work from home, because my job can get done from home. But I also get, that's not our protocol for as long as I had to be off. And I was like, okay, so I have to one, make my channel pop. I have to two, put more work into my channel. I have to three, quit my job to be sure. Oh, wait, let me get my charger, y'all. Because I told y'all I'm in my room. Because I didn't feel like getting on cameras. Hold on, I gotta grab my charge my phone, don't die, and stuff. Um, but I was mad. Like I was crying initially. But I was like, okay, use this time to build more, support for your channel. Because at the end of the day, you know, I want to quit my job eventually. I want to become a full-time YouTuber, but I have to do that when it makes sense. Um, and I'm not had I not had to spend money to pay other bills and stuff, um, I probably could have quit YouTube, quit my job sooner. But I'm like, no, I want to make sure it makes sense. But I was pissed. I was pissed off. But I was able to expand my channel, get more viewership, get more subscribers, and really put forth and show people how I do this. You know what I'm saying? Really put on the show, really entertain, really, bring forth information um on all kind of topics. And it's why I'm always like, okay, what can I talk about today? Because I don't want my channel to solely be based on reality shows because some shows is bullshit. So me being off work and unpaid, because I want to I was not paid. I got to check it all on there. Um, but I wanted to just make sure I have longevity. You know what I'm saying? And that was, something for me. My coworker still hasn't gotten her smell and taste back from cooking. And this is the weird thing. I didn't lose my taste or my smell. That's the one thing that I did not experience. Now that would have been fucked up. Okay, it made me eat salad though, because I would have been tasted. I'm so glad you decided to do what's best for you. These jobs will replace us, but I'm health right. And my job was like, you can be off on FMLA with no issue. Your job will be safe. We just can't allow you to keep working from home. So they were also telling me you may just need to rest. My boss told me specifically, she was like, Jaylee, you were back working like a week after getting out the hospital. You never even gave your body time to just rest. So take the time to just rest. And I'm like, but bitch, I gotta get paid, okay? But luckily this time off, it has allowed me to rest more than I have all year. Um, I did make more revenue on my YouTube channel than I had before because I was able to put more work into it. And when I go back to work starting on Monday, the only difference would be my live will either be Monday through Friday. My live will only be before 12 p.m. or after 8:30 p.m. So y'all will probably get more evening lives and more early morning lives. On the weekends, I'm gonna probably be live all day because I'm off on weekends. So I just have to still put forth the same effort to still keep building my channel because my thing is to be a full-time YouTuber, which can then parlay me into doing things outside of YouTube. But I have to make sure that I'm doing things because this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think not being in a predicament to where one of my incomes stopped because I got sick. And some folks didn't know that. I think people didn't realize I was going live more, and that meant I probably wasn't working, or they could have thought I was off work but it was getting paid. It's like, no ma'am. I used all my time. And it was gone. Okay, it was gone. Did you have full retention after COVID attack? Initially I don't think I did, even when my legs were swell up. um it was weird because they thought at one point it may have been whatever the disease is that when you touch the person's skin, like it leaves an end in their skin. I did not have that. It's just my leg was swell, but they also did not want to give me water pills because the test they ran, didn't show that was an issue. I died over 2 years, got caught last week. I died the whole time. I literally caught COVID because I had to go to urgent care and I fell at work. That was I fell at work and had to go to urgent care, and that's when I caught it. I had, stops. It just wasn't an issue. And I'm like, God damn it. Damn it, man. You said you saw that on ice at work. They're lucky you didn't fall. Look, I failed. Yes, I failed the first day. No, I failed the second day back to work in January this year. The second day I failed on ice, and I was pissed. I was so pissed. But yeah, I want to own the business. I hope yeah, I have the machine here to monitor myself. But again, like I'm, completely in a different space working on myself now. You know what I'm saying? Jay said, you don't have to worry about me. You ain't got to worry about me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, no. Um, nope, don't cut out anything. Moderation and variety are the key. And that's what the doctors kept telling me. But I was like, no, cut out everything. Don't do nothing. Okay. And they was like, no, 'cause that will make you end up having a setback. But I also feel like, these new doctors was like thinking, okay, because I'm probably out here eating cakes and pie. I'm like, no, my thing was takeouts. I completely cut out takeout, and that has legitimately changed my life. Thank God. Um, you can stop taking any medication as long as you are doing the opposite of what caused the issue. And I was like, they just look, and that the insulin is expensive. Okay, one prescription alone was thank God I had insurance because when I looked at how much insulin costs for like a month supply, it was like $3,000. Crazy, crazy. Okay, and not to mention doctor visits. Not my hospital stay. My hospital stay was like almost 60 grand. $60,000 for being in the hospital for 7 days. And since getting out, I probably had 20 to 25 doctor appointments. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Okay. Um, I can't wait to go back to my doctor in September to have them test my A1C again and for me to see what it's like in September. Um, but it's just weird that it took all of the foolishness, of me just having to get in the hospital and getting sick, to kind of work on myself. Not that I wasn't before. I don't think people get how hard it is just in life to change after I'm 40 years old. But again, I only have to almost die one time for me to know, bitch, change today. Okay, change when? Today. Um, but yeah, I would be weak, no appetite, and just sleeping. Like when I was sick, like I was at home, I didn't eat for a week here, and even in the hospital, I would barely eat. When I got home, I would barely eat. Like now, I eat like once a day. I like today, I ate I ate half an omelet. I had 2 bottles of water, and I had a piece of. I get like watermelon spears, and I had one watermelon spear. So it comes in 4 pieces. I got one spear of watermelon, and that was it. And I'm not hungry, so I won't eat again until tomorrow. But that's kind of been, and I know I need to eat more to have more fuel, but I also don't want to force myself to eat when I'm not hungry. So that be the part that's kind of crazy. So sometimes when um I'm live, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna end it here because sometimes I'm just tired and I have to end it because I would have forgotten to eat that day. It's sad. It'd be like 8:30, and I'm like, did I eat today? I don't think I ate today, and I'll go eat a pickle. Um, so it's just different now, and I'm just like, I just have to listen to my body. I have to pay attention to me, and I have to just realize that I have to do what's best for me. When I had it, it was mild, but the after effect was a lot of hair shed. If you have any effects with your hair texture, my hair texture hasn't changed. Like that's my hair texture. My hair is, you know, wavy, and when it's wet and it dry up, it be curly. So the texture has not changed. However, it's just my hair is now thin in the front. Like all it's just thin all up front. It's not that bad in the back. In the back is still whatever. And because it sheds so much, it's definitely shorter. Um, but I'm just waiting for that to just, play itself out. Cause I'm like, I don't want to add anything that makes it worse. I also don't want to, like, I don't want to get my hair done because I don't want any, heat on my hair. You get your hair done, you gotta blow dry it and all that stuff. I don't want that. Um, Again, I did order wigs, which I like. I just have to get the wig styled because the bang is too long for my face. So the bang for one of the wigs on my face, I love the second one, but I'm also like, man, do you want to pop on live out the blue, have a wig on? It's like, do you want to do that? I don't know. Um, but my hair texture has not changed, but for sure, the strength of my hair isn't the best. So I can only lightly brush my hair when I put it in a ponytail, but I have to do it because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Um, and I would say the past maybe 2, 3 days, it hasn't shed as much, but it's still, when I comb it, it's just a little bit more that comes out, than usual. You know what I'm saying? Um, oh, Mama Lee is absolutely the MVP. Okay. I look because I was so sick. Most of the stuff that they was telling us, I have no memory of. My mom has notes from January up until now. She just texts me like, "Did you cancel your appointment with Doctor Seuss?" I say, "Yeah, cause like she's on top of it." You know what I'm saying? Cause she's a mama. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, no one's gonna care for you like your mama do, and that's my mom. Okay. But even she was like, "Do you want to stop taking your insulin?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, I do," because I just think this and I think that. She's like, "Okay," but it was always a thing like, let's figure out, if that's what you really want to do, um, or not. I lost my job. Oh, thank you for the super chat. We know the cash app. It's your name I cannot pronounce right. So thank you for the cash app. Um, I lost my job right before catching COVID. I thankfully I had savings, nest egg, and was able to make the choice not to work and let my body heal and recover fully. I didn't work for months, and that was the weird thing for me. I didn't know how much rest I would need after because I was still not fully accepting how sick I was until I came home and it was tiring for me to take a shower. So I have, even right now, I still have a shower chair in my shower because I would have to sit down to take it because I would get dizzy and weak. And, so I have a shower chair right now. Now it's in there now because I don't have nowhere else to put it yet. So it's still in there. I don't use as much now. Well, I use it now. I'm like washing my hair or whatever. But before, like I could not even take a shower without sitting down because I was just too weak. I was just too weak to do it. Um, or I would get winded walking from like my bedroom to the bathroom because my body was just, you know what I'm saying, crazy. Um, so for me, I thought, well, you can still work, but it was like, no, you can't. So that's why it was, I was happy they allowed me to like work part time at first, and I came back, and was doing half in the office and half at home. But when my doctor was like, okay, do that for another month, my job was like, well, no. You can either come back, full time in the office or take the FMLA because you haven't used much of it at all. Um, but it will be unpaid and, come back after 30 days. So again, I'm going back so that was May 10th. Because it was from May 10th until June 10th, and I will be back on the 13th. So I've been off work since May, and I'm going back on so Monday will be my first day back. But I still won't get a paycheck until what I'm saying for like 3 more weeks. So it's like YouTube for me. I had to make a move, and luckily for me because all this stuff happened while I was home, I was able to keep building and doing that while still not feeling well. I think sometimes people do see me on my lives. I'm so hyped, but I'm so animated. And I've said this, behind, to my immediate circle, how sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it's very tiring. If that happens to be a day where I just don't feel, 100%, what I'm saying, good or whatever. But I'm like, I have to do because again, I'm not getting paid for work. So I have to do these things because if not, I ain't got time for that. It's also have brain fog. So sometimes if y'all like even now in my lives, sometimes I'm like, dang, I can't remember shit. It's so funny. I would literally like I can't remember like normal stuff, not just not remembering somebody's name or like it'd be like I can't sometimes remember general words. Like it just slips my mind. So it's definite brain fog, which is kind of crazy. And I just never thought, that I would, have to go through all this. And even when I was like, when my hair first started coming out, I'm like, I think I'm shaking my head. She was like, girl, you ain't got, no, you don't do that. But at that point in time, she had not seen, how my hair had become. Like I used to have a nice full head of hair. Okay, y'all, I would have my big buns or whatever, and I did not wear my hair down a lot because I hate having hair on me. That's what I've always hated having hair on me, so I don't wear my hair down often. But I love having it put up in a ponytail. And now, like, my bun is like pitiful because my hair is it's much more thin now. So I'm like, okay, I have to figure out what to do to not have to comb my hair, but also not put any stress on my hair. Okay, I gotta wear wigs, but I also don't want to get my hair braided under the wig because I don't want the stress of my hair being pulled for braids. So I'm gonna have to just have my hair pinned out under the wig. And it's just, it is what it is. And the wigs were expensive. Okay, I got some nice wigs. Because I'm like, I don't want to have no cheap wig that I'm gonna have to wear consistently on camera. Now, I'm not wearing wigs out the house because it's too hot in Michigan to be out here in wigs. It's just, I'm not going to do that. But I have, like, you know what I'm saying, little hair wraps. I have some turbans and all that stuff I'm going to end up wearing. Just so that I don't have to be worried about my hair. Okay. So question, are you, oh yeah, if y'all have questions, put the word question and I'll try to answer y'all. I'm trying to scroll down as far as I can. Are you considering going full podcast out the voice versus being on camera, or do you feel like people will start calling you an avatar? Like, I don't want to be an avatar. I like being on camera, but I also feel like, because people know who I am, I'm not. I think the avatar, we never to this day, we've never seen that person. But I have always been someone on camera. So I appreciate how sometimes I could not be on camera and still give y'all a full show. That's why I made sure that my background looks different. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know before this not how my background looked. But I'm like, let me add some color. Let me add, my names. I'm like, let me make it look like something so that if I'm not on camera, they're at least not looking at a black screen. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it used to look. And I was tired of having to add my like name and stuff on like each slide I would do. So I'm like, well, let's make it your background. And that way, so I'm like, I feel better now when I'm not on camera. But I don't want to go to full podcast mode because I like being on camera. But I am for sure trying to get myself to be more than just covering reality shows and TV shows. I want to have these. That's why I said, when I do the live watch alongs, it's a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about whatever the content is, to have conversation. So I'm trying to get into a podcast mode, but also I don't have to be off camera. Um, have you tried to take certain vitamins? My mama got me all kind of vitamins, okay? All kinds of vitamins. I have not been taking them all because I'm not a big pill. I'm not a big medicine pill taker. Any of that. I never have been. But I'm also open to what I feel like will help me eventually. But because right now I'm just trying to see when will my hair stop shedding so much, and then when that happens, I can kind of figure out what to do next. More than anything else. Because it's just hard to know what to do next, basically. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. People don't understand how much of an attachment people have to their hair sometimes. Yeah, and it's like I didn't even realize how much my hair was falling out until one day I was putting it up in a bun, and I'm like, my bun looks thin because my hair, and I didn't get it, and then just recently I realized the front is thinner, and that's where the majority of my hair is coming out. So luckily it's not bald up front. Luckily, I can still put my hair in a ponytail. And I can throw a headband on. But I'm like, but sometimes I just do not feel like combing my hair. So sometimes when I feel like I ain't combing my hair, I really mean I have not combed my hair. And so that's why I'm not on camera. Because I don't want to comb it because the day before it almost came out. So, but I'm waiting for the shedding to stop. You know what I'm saying? Your hair will grow back. See, yep, the shedding process is the impact from the stress in the body, fighting for you to live. And that's what I was told before. So I'm like, I'm just waiting for that to happen. And then, move on, from there. So we shall see. People to roast with their mouth, you never know what you're going through. And that's why, even now when I'm reviewing things, I try my best to be careful to not go too far. I try my best to be careful to give some folks the benefit of the doubt. I try my best. I also make sure that I'm not out here talking about people's hair and body. That's their natural hair, their natural body. Because that's the thing I'm saying that some folk can't help. Now, my rule always is if you got an ugly wig, I may discuss your ugly wig. If you've had surgery for a bigger booty and bigger boobs and looks crazy, I'll talk about that. But I try my best to always make sure I'm not out here trying to just make other people feel like shit. So, that's I think what I've also said, like, turning 40, even before I turned 40, I would say, like, for the past 5 years or so, I've really grown as a person. And I'm less petty. I'm not petty. I'm less petty than I used to be. And I feel like I want it to be to, like, when someone in 20 years finds an old video of mine, they can learn something from it and not feel like I was out here just being, like, mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to mean something. And so that's why I think I go so hard for my channel, and why I'm like, I can do this. And while I'm out here, celebrating my milestone, like, I hit 30,000 subs last week on Sunday. Okay. And within a week, I'm at like 32.4. I think it's 32.4. So you know what I'm saying? I've definitely tried my best to grow. And I do that because, like, I think I'm supposed to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? I think I posted on my IG. I'm like, my content and my voice and my opinion is bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Because years from now, I want folks to hear me, and years from now say, damn, I learned from that. You know what I'm saying? I learned something from her saying this, that, and the other. And even if me now having shared my stuff with COVID helps other people who either went through it, are going through it, or will go, because COVID ain't going nowhere. Like, it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I hope it shows people, one, you never know what somebody going through. Two, you never know what somebody is trying to get to. Because I don't think anyone thought about me going live more often was because I really, really want to do this thing full time. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they even think about the fact that I've only been on YouTube for 5 years. Like, that's not a long time in YouTube world. Um, and the amount of, for lack of a better term, success that I've garnered so far has been impressive. But I want to do more. I want to be more. And I think that's why when I first came home from the hospital, I felt like I went live from the hospital. And the funniest shit, when I was in the hospital, I did not remember, once I was out, going live from the hospital. I also, little known fact, I never watched my videos back. Um, so I did not watch the one back of me in the hospital until like a month or two later. I'm like, I was live in the hospital, and they was like, well, yeah, you went live from the hospital bed, and I was like, and I was talking, I think, to my mom and to him, and I'm like, y'all let me be live, like, why did I? And they were like, I thought I thought you knew. And when I rewatched it back, and I was like, why? To me, I looked horrible, I sounded horrible. But for me, I think at that point in time, I thought, if you don't go live, if you don't have content up, if you don't do this or whatever, in my head, I'm like, you're gonna fall behind. And truth be told, when I wasn't, doing videos, like when I first came back on, on screen or whatever, my channel did suffer because I wasn't in the algorithm. So, like, my videos just did not get as many views. People were not being notified that I was on live or whatever. So for a minute, my channel did kind of like slow down. And a part of me felt like, damn, like, will my channel recover to kind of give me attention I was getting from before? And it is now. And I'm, just grateful for that. But I, had to also work through a lot of bullshit, a lot of being tired, a lot of being sleepy, a lot of, taking medication while I was on live and off screen. I've been on live with my hands in my like my head in my hand because I'm so tired. But I'm having to, say whatever, stuff. I've done all that, and I've done all that because I feel like I'm the only person that can make sure my channel grows. And if I have to do all this stuff while I'm sick as a dog, while I'm tired, while I'm in the bed, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be on camera, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I have to do that. Like, I don't have no other choice but to make this shit pop. And I almost feel like I was deceiving people because people were like, oh, I'm so glad you better. I'm like, man, I ain't better. I was in the hot, I was earlier, you know what I'm saying, laying down, couldn't move. Or I was my legs, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes I'm just live in the bed, you know what I'm saying? Um, and so, in that way I feel like, what I'm saying, I was deceptive because I made people think I was better when I wasn't, but I also did not want to ever go into details. Um, because I was like, I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to seem weak. I didn't want to seem um like I also didn't want like sympathy. You know what I'm saying? I also didn't want people to feel like, you know what I'm saying, oh, what was her when there were other people, other things, other situations way worse than what I had going on. And y'all know for me, I feel like my channel is a uplifting, positive place or whatever to not discuss, what I'm saying, sad shit. I try my best not to bring nobody down or whatever. But I also felt like, what I'm saying, eventually I knew I would have to have this conversation just for full transparency. And for me, out of me being out of someone being 100% back to being good, I would say I'm at a consistent 65%. Meaning I'm good, but it's also meaning some days I'm not. And I'm still working towards having less crappy days than anything else. I'm able to not be pissed off about whatever I'm going through. If not too personal, were you also vaccinated? There are people who are vaccinated and still got COVID, lesser symptoms, degree, but still have some wacky symptoms. There's a lot of inflate. So this is the gotcha. First of all, your profile pictures is creepy. Okay, you're a clown. That's the killer clown. It's weird. Okay, it's still funny, but it's weird. But no. So I waited to get my COVID vaccination because I was working from home and I wasn't really around anyone who I wasn't used to being around. And I then made the decision to get vaccinated. So I went and got my first shot. It was like within the last week of December. I never went and got my second one because after getting my first dose, I caught COVID. So I caught COVID after I got my first shot. And then because the time that I was supposed to get the second shot was the time that I was actually in the hospital. And I just haven't went back and got the second one. Everyone has to make their own decisions, which is why I chose to wait to get my COVID shot because it was just my own decision. I don't want to be forced to do shit, but I still knew I would eventually go get it. And then I do feel like me at least having the first one is what helped me not die because I was that sick. And because I was able to get in the hospital, get the medication, um, to, bring me back to life because it was crazy. Um, and, but I also feel like, people need to do what they feel is right, but we all have to also deal with the consequences. For me, I don't know if I would have had the second shot if my symptoms would not have been as bad. I don't know that, but what I do know is with the one shot I lived. It's been some fucked up shit now. Okay, I'm getting other shit, but it's still, you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. Really, I'm glad you trust yourself enough to share the journey. God watch over things. Absolutely. And that's why I said I'm gonna go live, and the people who rock with me will be the ones who come watch this. Because some people do watch me for, the other stuff. And that's fine. Um, so, I have to be okay with that. Um, oh yeah, happy Cancer Survivor Month, y'all. I've had COVID twice Delta. Oh damn. COVID, Delta, and girl. Well, okay, you should Wonder Woman. As the first, what? What? Now that's a whole bunch. Peace be unto you. Blessings upon you. That is, I'm telling you, it's crazy. All of it is crazy. My job never enforced the rules against these anti-vax people, even masks. My job was like, they didn't force us to have it, the vaccine. But we did have to wear masks in the office. Um, no, you have to wear masks in the office if you're around someone. Like, because I have my own office, I wear a mask when I walk in the door, and I go to my office and I close the door, and lock my door, and I'm by myself. Um, so yeah. When it comes to being on camera, Jaylee, do what makes you comfortable and happy. The hair will be restored. Honey, I can't wait I can't wait. Okay, I can't wait. Um, I'm happy about the growth of your channel. I am too. And the fact that it kind of grew at a point in time where I had just a time and space to put, forth that energy. Because like I don't think people understand like having to gather all the information to make it make sense, and then keep people interested long enough to like really hear you out, and want to have the conversation. So I do love the fact that I'm able to show I'm more than just someone who can crack jokes about reality TV. You know what I'm saying? Um I could really do deep dives into the sad shit too, but I don't want to bombard people with sadness. I don't want to do that because I feel like there are so many other channels and news shows and programs that does that. But I could do that shit too. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. Now in the future, might I, do maybe one video a week that will be specifically discussing or having conversations about stuff? I don't know. I don't know. But, I've learned that when I feel like I'm the underdog, and when I feel like I don't know what's next, that's when I succeed the most, because I feel like I'm backed into a corner and I have to come out fighting, and no one will help me but me, so let me help myself. Like when I was doing all the lives for the Monique and the leather, when I was doing all that stuff, it's because I'm like, it's revenue. And I have a different way of wanting to talk about it. And I want to have full-fledged conversations about it. Even right now, I'm talking about, my COVID stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's still a full-fledged conversation. Where some folk may not be as open. So, you know what I'm saying? I had COVID, was told I had diabetes. Then, you know, had the leg numbness. Then also had cellulitis. And then has had an infection. Look, the infection in my neck, bitch. Look. So over the years, I have had cysts. However, I've only ever had a cyst, or a boil. It's either one, and and like on my chest, like in between my boobs, and that was it. That was really the only place I would ever have it. Every couple years, it would come up and go away, whatever. Never have really had one in my neck, and in the hospital, I felt a pain in my neck that I thought my neck was just stiff, and it got a bit swollen. And in the hospital, they gave me like just a warm compress on it, and that was it. Um, and when I came home, my neck was still, hurting or whatever, still a bit swollen or whatever. And after being home from the hospital, and me being like, why is my neck swelling? It's so weird. And I had a appointment with my doctor, and like a day or two before my appointment, the cyst burst. Okay, it's gonna sound gross, y'all. The cyst burst and was like leaking or whatever. So my doctor gave me antibiotic, like, it'll drain out, take the antibiotic for it was like a week or whatever. That was back in February. It is June. It is June. And it's back. Okay. This is like the fourth time. Like every month it came back. But that first time, I have never in my life been so freaked out by, liquid stuff or whatever. And the conclusion, that kind of came about between, my doctor and my PCP, also had to go to infectious disease, because the infection kept coming back. They think like MRSA or whatever. Was my body has this infection in it, and because there's a cyst pocket, until that cyst pocket is removed, the infection will probably keep coming back. But no time was worse than the first time, because the first time it swelled up so big, and it was just like it was disgusting. And I've never experienced that ever. And even though the swelling is back right now, it's not as bad as it was back then. But because I already know what it's hitting for, I noticed, okay, I need some medication, and I just have to wait, to the surgery I have scheduled in July. But I'm terrified of surgery, and I'm hoping I don't have to have it in my head, because I'm nervous. And my mom was like, if you feel nervous and you want to push the surgery back, do that. Like, don't do it if you don't feel good about it. Because again, all this could be happening because my body's still fighting with COVID. And so for me, it's the same as, them telling you, take the insulin, have surgery. And it's really still my body just reacting to the COVID and the pneumonia, and this my body reacting. So I may possibly push my surgery to August just to see how my body reacts to stuff. Because again, the infection has not been as bad as it was in February. After that, it hasn't been as bad um since then. But it's like, y'all don't know. Sometimes I was on live and my whole, like, it hurt to move my neck. You know what I'm saying? No one knew that. It was a big secret, because it's not something that you really. I do have pics of the drainage, but it is too disgusting. I would never, yeah. I was on FaceTime. I was on FaceTime with my, like, I had to FaceTime my mom. Like, Mom, you won't believe this. Because I've just never seen, I've never experienced that. Never. Um, and it was just shocking. It was so great. So this, I'll say, okay. Um, when it first burst, it was like, like little white pus or whatever. That's not a big deal. Um, However, after that, there's a point in time where it was leaking again, and it was green. It had a smell. It was horrible. It was warm, and it was draining like water. And it was the most traumatic experience, because it was leaking down my body. And I felt dirty. Like, oh my God, my body is dirty. And it was like, no, that's just the infection leaking out. And I had to sometime wake up. I'll be in the bed sleep, and I'll wake up and I'll feel like, wetness, and I know it's been leaking. And it can be 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm in the bathroom, like leaning over my sink, trying to let it all drain out. And that would happen for a minute. And so I just like I for sure I would never look. I would never like my page may get shut down if I show y'all the photo. I love your transparency. Your reviews drew me in. Your person keeps me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Look, I try to be as engaging without, you know what I'm saying, giving y'all too much. Okay, not too much. Um, used to have problems with system living between chest and my teens. The size caused moisture in the cleave and ended up getting breast. Oh, really? See, and mine would come and go, and I think I can remember either once or twice in my life where I had to have it lanced, but it was never what my neck was doing. Like never. And it's because it kept draining and it went from like one color to the other. And it was just so, and it was, I was, ooh, and I would cry. I would just cry, like, oh my, the leg stuff and then I would cry. I would cry and I would just cry. Cause I'm like, my legs, I'm tired. I'm at work. Like, am I gonna get evicted? I know I would not get evicted. I'm not bad about rent. But I'm like, if I don't get any better, like, will I lose my job? Will I get evicted? What else is gonna go wrong? I can't walk sometimes. Sometimes I'm too tired to sleep. I have insomnia. So it was a lot going on. And then to have this punk ass sis bust and keep like leaking for days to where I had to put towels on my cover, or sleep with a towel around my neck in case it leaked overnight. It was crazy. But the picture will for sure get my page blocked. Okay, it will for sure get my shit shut down. Shut down. Yes, if you want to put the surgery back a month, do that. Cause I'm just real weird. Just real weird. Okay. The antibiotics should have killed the infection, including the pocket. More importantly, what caused this? Hard to believe COVID is. Well, well, no. That's not true. Even the doctor said the pocket doesn't go away. The pocket is still there. So that's what needs surgery. And I'm not saying COVID caused it, but COVID and pneumonia in my body is pushing forth other infections. So that's what that is. Okay. Um, I'm 35, also living with hair loss, thinning. Thanks for being transparent, keeping you in my prayers. Yeah, and I feel like, as women, we do not want to lose our hair. No one wants to be forced to either cut the hair off or just, have bald spots or whatever. Even though as we get older, we lose hair. But I'm only 40. And for those y'all who've, seen me over the past couple years, I've had a nice amount of hair. Yeah, so that's just not my life now. And I'm just having to fully accept that. So I've accepted that I may have to shave my head off. And I'm now um okay with that. Are you able to try fasting and allow the body to heal from a lot of different things that it started alternate day fasting? Of course, I fast without thinking, because some days I just don't eat. I don't, because some days I'm just not hungry. But I force myself to eat like a pickle, or I'll force myself to eat a couple carrots. I'll force myself to eat like a piece of salmon. I'll force myself to eat one little thing so that I'm not too weak. But when I first came home, I for sure wasn't eating right. As far as I wasn't eating enough to keep my energy up because I just wasn't hungry. So now I wouldn't say that I'm on any kind of consistent fasting, but I'm definitely doing better with my eating habits. And just knowing what I can't eat any longer. Knowing that I have to work out. And that's why I bought that expensive ass treadmill. That is amazing, by the way. Because what I'm saying, I have to make changes. But I also feel like I don't want to update people, every day about my journey. That's why I do updates here and there. My last conversation about this was back in February. It's damn in July. But no, it was June right now. So thank you, Anika Windsor for the Cash App. I really appreciate it. Um, but that's why I'm now kind of talking about it now. Just because people that just so that people know it takes time for anything to change. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, I think it's a very daunting task to think, oh my God, I'm sick. I have this, I have that. I need to lose this, I need to do that. And when it's too much on you, you feel like you can't do any of it. And I had to get to the point to realize you have to do things, one at a time. And that's just kind of what I have to do. And I'm not ashamed of that, but I'm also not going to not suggest that people know to take things one step at a time. Oh, thank you, Venita. I can't see the name. Venita Slaughter. Thank you so much for what? $100. What did you? Thank you so much. I really up. Look. I can pay a bill. Okay, and I don't want y'all to think I'm out here destitute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to, luckily for me, I, am financially, responsible. So I'm never behind on any bills. But however, just having to um wait to get more money is, different for me. Um and so that's why, I'm just trying to, you know, do better within YouTube, be better to have content that, make other people feel better. Cause it's times when I was on here, making y'all laugh and joking and whatever, and I felt like crap. But for me, that also made me feel better in the long run because I'm also helping other people forget what they're going through. And for me to help me with what I'm going through, I would just sometimes be like, okay, well, just do more of this or do more of that. You know what I'm saying? Um, go live again. Find content to, have conversations about. Um, don't be afraid to, reach out and just try something different. Um, don't be afraid to. 'Cause I think for me, I just didn't want to fully take a break from YouTube because I was, already not getting paid for work, and I didn't want to bombard y'all with my "what was me" story. So I guess what I did was use my pain as fuel and use my aggravation as fuel. Use my what I'm gonna do next as, fuel. And that's kind of what pushed me to, keep going. But draining is a good thing because your body's trying to get rid of it. Yeah, draining was a great thing. It was just I've never seen that ever in life. Okay, ever, ever. Oh, it was horrible. Even thinking about it, when because we show our my infectious disease doctors, the photos, and then that's that. Like they knew, like okay, that's what it is. But for me, I was like, no, ma'am. No, Sam, not today. I had a boy to have my daughter, and it left a hole in my leg. That was the worst. And that was the weird thing where it was a small hole. It was a really small hole. Thank God. And sometimes it wouldn't leak, but when it did leak, I was like, bitch. Like right now, the one like it's back now, and it's not big. Like I can always feel because I can feel the pocket that's still on my neck, even when it's not infected, but it's not swollen or hurt. I can feel the pocket where it is, and the infectious disease doctor and also the surgeon, like, because that pocket is still there, until that pocket is removed, the antibiotics, because the antibiotics won't work, it'll make the infection go away, but the pocket still remains. And they even said once the pocket is gone, it's not guaranteed that an infection might not go somewhere else in my body. But what I appreciate is that because I learned so much from what happened back in February with the crazy drainage of it all, it hasn't been that bad since, which makes me feel like my body is still fighting, whatever from the COVID shit. So that's why I'm like learning from decisions I've made that have gotten me better. And that is why I feel like I have gotten better. And I feel like that's also why I said today we'll go have this conversation. Cause even what day was that? Like my good morning chat or whatever. Sometimes like I feel like, God or whoever y'all serve, for me it's God. God just tells me, what to do. So one day God was like, girl, go live for no reason. And it was around the time all the shooting stuff was happening. And it was like, go live and just had a conversation. And it was great. And even today, I was laying in bed. I was a bit aggravated, a bit tired. And I was like, go live. And just talk about, what you've been through the past 6 months. Because you've never fully had the conversation out of people in my immediate circle. And I mean that, like my family, to my friends or whatever. And it's because not a lot of people, I won't say they don't care, but a lot of people just don't know. And so because I like being so open with what I'm saying, I love being open with my JayBirds as much as I can. Um, but I also, like I said, I didn't want like sympathy, like, oh my God, she's so this, she's so that. Um, I still wanted people to enjoy my content, just enjoy my content basically. I'm new to your channel, but enjoy your commentary on the Monique drama. I appreciate you having this conversation. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Um, and that's the heart. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I think we already sorry, Chili, with no pics. Look, I was reluctant to show anyone the photos of that. Only me and my mom and my doctors. I didn't want to show anyone else. Though no one. Okay? Because it's disgusting. I'll show my one friend Rain, because Rain is a nurse. Okay, now she uses that stuff. But I didn't show anybody because it's disgusting. And I was nasty. Nasty, okay. Oh, Julie, I did not know you had all those issues. In addition to having COVID-19, you're also strong with God. God was on my hip. God was on my punk ass sis. I agree. Okay, I agree. Uh, that's what it was. But yeah, I was like, at the end of the day, it was nothing but God. Because again, I was in here just, sick as a dog, not wanting to leave, and this withering away. And my mom took me into the hospital. And that got me better, and that put me on a different road to recovery. And right, the COVID exasperated everything in my body. Not not send those pics to me. Candy love. No. No. Okay. Um, I love you are transparent is where I so many other times I be having stuff I want to be relatable about. But I also be like, I don't want to um change or make anyone else feel, sad about, what I'm saying? Like I've always I've always come on my channel randomly, thought like I remember one time I went on my channel and did a video about oh, blah, 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 blah. I went on my channel and did a video about me losing my dad. Because I randomly said, just have this conversation with yourself and then post it. So I always once in a while have these extremely transparent, extremely therapeutic, extremely vulnerable conversations, but I always like to do it at a point in time where it just comes to me to do it. I never want to plan it. I never want to um sit down and have a whole thought process I want to do, because I feel like when I just speak naturally without knowing what I want to say, it comes off um better for me because I don't want to be prepared sometimes to have these kind of conversations. That's why sometimes if y'all notice when when we're talking about different topics, I'll be slowly talking and like thinking at the same time because I'm like I want to be sure I'm saying what's really on my mind in the right way and not have no PG-13 politically correct response to stuff. Sometimes our response is like man, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes like well I feel this way. Let me kind of explain that or this. And like for people who like did not know, how sick I was because, you're listening to my channel or because I never really went into detail about it. And then not even knowing for the past, from January until now that sometimes I was on camera and was tired. Like, ooh, like what day was that? One day this week, I can't remember what day it was. I had ate something. I don't know what, I think it may have been some chicken I ate. And I felt horrible. I felt horrible. Okay. It may have been Wednesday. It may have been Wednesday. Or it may have been, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Because Wednesday I didn't do no content. Because I was gonna rest on Wednesday. And Wednesday night, from around 10 o'clock till Thursday night, I felt like pure shit. I was puking. I was pooping. I was tired. I was like, I ate a donut and I have not had donuts in forever. The donut killed me. I didn't know what it was. I think it was like a little bug or whatever. But I felt like pure D shit. And when I went live yesterday for the whole candy, debacle, candy, the whole House of Atlanta video that I did, y'all didn't even know. Even I was on the panel last night. I felt like shit. I felt better toward the end of the night, but I still felt like shit. But I couldn't push off my live because I wasn't live the day before. I couldn't push off the panel because, you know what I'm saying, I already be, sometime off camera. And that's why if y'all don't, because I know some folks like, man, why y'all be off camera? Sometimes I need to be off camera just so that I can conserve my energy and be kind of just chilling out in my chair. Still talking, but chilling out. But yeah, no one knew. I didn't tell anybody, how I felt yesterday. Because I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I'm just now starting to have less sick days than I had before. But I still have those days and I've just learned how to maneuver around them. Now, once I'm back at work Monday, that's going to be interesting because again, I don't have any sick days. I don't have any vacation days. So if I don't feel good, I don't even know if I will be able to call off without like getting in trouble. Cause I've never been at my job and not had sick and vacation time. I've never been in this situation. Um, so I feel like I'm going to have to sometime be at work when I don't want to. You plan on quitting your job? Great question. Let's get into that. Um, when I started YouTube 5 years ago, I had a whole plan. For me, YouTube is fun, but YouTube is also a business. You know what I'm saying? And when I started, I had a 8-year plan. I have an 8-year plan. After 8 years, that's the time to start considering if you want to leave your job, if you're doing well on YouTube. And my first know we're here to listen and support you. You pour to us by keeping us company last point. Oh, thank you so much. You think I pour to y'all? I try my best. I try my best, okay? And I do enjoy, you know, making sure other folk is okay. You know what I'm saying? So that I absolutely, is, okay with that. Um, but my first plan was in a year, if you can get, well, I want 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 views, that'd be a thing to at least stay on YouTube. And my initial plan was, after 8 years, you should be able to make a decision on if you're going to stick with YouTube, quit your job, and become YouTube full time, but you don't want to be doing both. And in the 5 years that I've been doing it, I want to be a full-time YouTuber. Um, because I don't want to keep having to do both. Because I do feel my most creative self when I'm not confined to only doing YouTube shit, after 8 p.m. up until, 11 a.m. And I do want to quit my job. I do, but I'm also not a fool. I have great health insurance. I have a few more doctor appointments. I have a surgery coming. So I'm like, I know for a fact I can't quit right now. Because healthcare is expensive for one. And not fuck the gas prices alone, it's crazy. But I do want to quit my job. It just also has to make sense. Um, this past month, being off work and not getting paid has shown me that I can do it. However, I have to make sure that I can continue being as successful on YouTube because I am consistently making a great amount of money on YouTube. I want to be making more money on YouTube before I choose to leave my, full-time corporate with benefits job um that is not hindering me as far as, anything besides the hours I have to be at work and can't do this. So I'm like, I already know I'm going to have to do lives before I go to work. So from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm going to probably have to be doing live at that point in time. And then when I get home from work, from between 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m., I'll have lives then. I'll have to plan premieres that will premiere in the afternoon while I'm at work. So y'all would get premiere videos from me. So I won't be live per se. Okay. But it'll be content that probably have more premieres once I'm at work. But I absolutely have a plan to leave my job. I won't say when. I won't say when. But this whole situation has 100%, pushed me to know what I want to do. Not all people want to be full-time YouTubers. Not all, I know, I think people don't understand the time and effort it takes to do YouTube sometimes. So when you have a full-time job, it's tiring. Um, because you're balancing the two. And I just know that I have to do it all. Ain't no other choice. So because I know, not per se, because I know I want to be a full-time YouTuber. Because for me, it doesn't end there. For me, it starts with me becoming a full-time YouTuber. And then from that, I really want to parlay that into, something bigger on a national platform. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. I want to have bigger conversations on different topics. That's why I try to break shit down in a way that can be on a news network. So that it's not, oh, she just do shits and giggles for, love and hip hop. But she just do shits and giggles for, it's like, no. This girl did a whole 3-hour live to break down, something that people may not have understood had they only heard the other person's 1-hour live. Like, I don't think anybody thought to break down Monique's 1-hour live the way I did. But I'm like, but for me, that was me proving myself as far as what I can do. You know, You said on one video that in due time you will talk about it. I knew it had to be serious, but don't be afraid to tell your story and how you are surviving the virus, being alive is the great thing. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. You may be helping someone else with your storyline. I hope so, honey, because it was a whole thing. A whole foolish thing. It was crazy. If y'all have posted a question and I have not answered it yet, I may have slid past it. So if you have questions, feel free to put the question in the chat. Okay, I'm kind of scrolling down now because we've been on for 2 hours now. Okay. Um, you must have eaten old chicken. I hope not. I went and bought it that day. I went and bought it that day, but it may have been because I'm not really eating a lot of takeout food. And if I do get it, I'll get my omelet or I'll get chicken and I just like take the skin off. But I think Popeyes just fooled me. Um, don't listen to it. Be up camera if you want. I don't even mind the person. I don't. You don't even matter a person you've never seen. That is funny. You can't work from home. So my particular employer, we're not a work from home business. You know what I'm saying? We have in office positions. Now, can my position be done from home? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I do not need everything I need, I have at home. Everything. Except a fax machine, which I can just go in and do that. But because my position, because this of the this we're not a work from home place. And they are not fully on board yet with, being remote work on any, crazy. It's crazy. But my job can for sure be done from home. Again, I work from home during COVID. When COVID first happened, I worked from home, and I have been working from home since February 1st. It wasn't until you know May where they said, "Okay, you've been working from home long enough. We can't keep letting you work from home because your position isn't under that category." And we've already allowed this to happen for this amount of time, but that's just not our protocol. So I 100% understood the reason they did that, but it was also aggravating but y'all know that's stupid. And because y'all know that's stupid, I'm pissed. you know, and that's how I felt like, they was on bullshit. But I also will say their point was you may need to just rest. You may need to just be off and not be working. And we will allow you to do that. However, it'll be your choice on what you want to do. So I made the choice to say, okay, I will not work for a month. I won't get paid for a month. I'll rest for a month. And for this whole month, I have completely ignored every text, every email that was work related because y'all tried to make it seem as if, how can I word this the right way? They made it be like it's really about you. Like it's really about you. But I'm like, but y'all could have still let me work from home. And because y'all didn't, I'm pissed. So I have no choice but to say, man, fuck y'all. But it's all a process. But give me 1 second, y'all. I want y'all to like the video. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Shorty just went live, and I had to get my phone prepared to record her on the live. Um, but let me get back to the comments. Um, what does your job consist of? Working. The reason I don't go into any details is because, um, you know, the two just should not be intertwined. The two should not be mixed. And I just try to keep things, separate, basically. Um, Once I leave that place, I would be more inclined to then say, so that night, oh, where do you feel like I went? What I'm doing. That night, where do you feel like I went? But until then, I you know, can't go into detail because you never want your employer to be able to say, "Oh, you was out here, talking cash shit about your job. We're gonna fire you." And so that's the reason why I make sure to, keep that private because you don't want it to get to a point of, it being that. Um, YouTube was no joke. I've been trying, and so it can't be consistent. Look, look, you know, me being a couple years in and able to now be more consistent. Um, Even how when I first started, I was posting way more. It's very hard to do YouTube, and you really have to want to do it on a full time basis or just on a regular basis to even get to the point of having people uh watch you whenever. Like now, I'm at a point to where if I don't go if I don't post a video one day, I'm no longer worried that okay, my channel gonna die. Like now I'm like, okay, I can take a day here, I can take a day there. Um, but it's not like, oh well, I can take a full week off. I ain't there yet. I'm not at Funky That Evil level yet. Funky That Evil is the one who can fully be gone for a month and come back and do numbers. Like I want to get to that point. Okay. But also while I'm off for a month, I'm off for a month doing something else, making more money somewhere. So I'm trying to get there. Um what? Look, let me screenshot this because the most I will say is, that's right up my alley, you know, for a part of what I do. Okay, a part of what I do. Um, so I'm look, I baby Doug, what do you think? Um, let's see. Yeah, gas prices is crazy. It's crazy. But it's reasonable accommodation. Look, it's a lot, it's a lot. But I am thankful that my job like does not want me to be gone. My job does not want me to leave. My job fully does not want me to quit. They does not want to fire me. Like I think, some other people who were dealing with COVID and not being able to work. Some people lost their jobs. And the fact that they still want me to come back because they need me. Okay. Some jobs don't care. Some jobs will let you go. So I'm happy that they at least want me to get better to come back. But I also know I can never be in a predicament to where I'm off work and not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? That just won't work for me. But it also helped me, realize, okay, you need to build your channel, okay? Because no one can help build my channel but me. And I had to come to that realization and I had like, okay, girl, you know it's a business. You know it's a business, so get it done. Y'all know for me, I trademarked JayLeesCorner before I was making money on YouTube. Because I was like, I'm gonna be something and I don't want to build my name up and someone can then come take it from me because I didn't have a trademark. So I spent the money to trademark it. because I just knew, that's what I had to do. And I'm like, I ain't got time for that. Not at the all. But, honey, we've been on here for over 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours and 11 minutes. So I'm gonna end it here. But I think I touched on all the things I wanted to. Being off work unpaid, losing my hair due to COVID, and wanting to quit my job. Chit chat. Okay. Um, so again, it was a full-fledged conversation that I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope y'all were able to, get some little tidbits about, what my life been with been like recently. Um, I love all the support. Even when y'all don't know, if I'm having a good or a bad day. I love the fact that, y'all rock with me. I think that's what every YouTuber wants. They want, to have a solid following, who, wants to, talk to their people all the time. And so I have been very thankful and appreciative, for all the prayers and well wishes and just congratulations and everything that y'all have wished well my way. Because y'all know for me, I'm always wishing well, to y'all too. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm always making sure I'm trying to uplift people, because I know for a fact that you never know what someone else is going through. And so for that reason, I'm always trying to make sure that I am making y'all feel good too. So I fully appreciate y'all coming on this live with me. Okay. I'm now up walking around my house. I'm gonna get me a bottle of water. And I will for sure be back to talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna probably put a ring on it tomorrow afternoon. And then y'all know Sunday will be full for 11 Marriage Huntsville, DC and stuff. And then I will tell y'all how my first day at work went after Monday. But um be blessed, be loved, because I love you all. I, see, I need some water. And have a good night. And until, tomorrow, I love you all. Peace.